I was furious this morning after reviewing some posts on Reddit. I came across one post that featured a promotional image of California Governor Gavin Newsom's podcast interview with Steve Bannon. According to various news reports, Newsom used this podcast episode to portray himself as not so different from Bannon. Really? This interview comes just days after Newsom interviewed Charlie Kirk, president of Turning Point USA, a far-right political religious organization that promoted the 2020 election fraud debacle, encouraged the January 6th rally, and spread false medical information regarding COVID-19, among other far-right cultural issues. That's not to mention their efforts to preserve systems that maintain racial, gender, and economic disparities. And Gavin Newsom thinks there's something to be gained by talking to these morons? I have to ask what Gavin Newsom is doing and how he thinks this is going to reinforce his political standing, particularly as he prepares for a potential run for president in 2028. It seems that Democrats in general believe they should present themselves as Republican light in order to attract more voters. And I hear it a lot. As one Reddit user said, "We got to start talking to people like Bannon and try to find a reasonable dialogue with them." Really? A reasonable dialogue? I couldn't disagree more. This is precisely why Democrats lose. They try to look like Republican light, but why vote for Republican light when you can vote for a real Republican? The people want a choice, and the more Democrats try to reason with these extremist Republicans, the less of a choice they offer to the voters. People want universal health care. People want reproductive freedom. People want a good public education for their children. None of these things, none of them are in the Republican wheelhouse, and Democrats who are willing to compromise in these issues for the sake of reasonable dialogue are nothing but hollow shells doing the bidding of the same corporate masters who control Republicans. The Democrats need to get off defense and go on offense. They need to stop apologizing for caring about people. To that end, they should collectively kick Steve Bannon and his buddies square in the ass. Guys like Bannon are not interested in basic human rights, and trying to find reasonable dialogue with them is like trying to reason with a tiger before it eats you. These assholes have no sense of compromise. They only have a sense of what they want, and they will drive a truck over anyone who gets in their way. Chamberlain learned this lesson the hard way when trying to have reasonable dialogue with Hitler. The bottom line is that when it comes to fundamental needs and rights of people, there is no middle ground. So Democrats should stop searching for it and begin fighting for the people. Maybe then, just maybe, the Democratic Party will start to gain some popular support. But folks, it's obvious that most, not all, but most of our Democratic leaders are not up for the fight. If you saw their wimpy approach to resisting President Trump during his recent address to Congress, you'd agree. So we must take this fight into the streets. It is a fight for freedom and democracy. And in that fight, there is no middle ground. History is watching. This is our time. This is our fight. My name is Dan Schaefer, previous Democratic candidate who ran for the Missouri House of Representatives, District 97. Thank you for your time.